Okay, for this fly, we're going to tie a light olive Baetis. And this is a fly that I like to use in the fall, particularly on tailwater rivers. Also can be fished, of course, on freestone rivers, but if I tie it for a freestone river, I tie it a little bit larger. So we're going to start with a size 16 curved hook. I've got some green, I'm going to use green thread. I prefer a little lighter green thread, but this is what I've got available for now, so it will work. I just would prefer a little lighter. I'm going to tie my thread in, get back to the curved portion of the hook, and then snip my thread off. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie in just a little bit of dubbing, not much, almost a small enough amount that you cannot tell that it's there, but it does serve a purpose. So I'm going to tie in just a little bit of light olive dubbing. I'm going to slide it down the thread right to the back end of the fly. I'm going to tie it right there. So you can kind of see it just a little bit right there. What that's for is my next step is I'm going to be tying in the tail of this fly. And on the tail of this fly, that dubbing will help the tail flare out a little bit. And not only will it help it flare, but it will also help it hold in place once I get it set where I want it. So my tail is going to come off of a pheasant tail fibers. And I've got about 5 of them here. And I'm going to just tie those things right here into the back of the fly. Not super long, but get them tied onto the hook. And you'll notice as I get close to that dubbing area, I'll kind of try to spread them just a little bit and tie them. Pull it tight. What it does, helps them, it flares the fibers a little bit and helps them hold in place. So you can kind of see that one that's flying down right there. I'm going to end up snipping that one. I don't like the looks of it, but we'll leave it for now. And I'm just going to wrap up to about where the fly will change in size and tie that off, snip that off. Now my next thing is I have to get my thread back to the back again. And I'm going to tie in one little strip of, this is dyed turkey feather. This is a dyed turkey wing, and it's dyed light olive. I'm going to take just one fiber there and pluck it. And the bottom end has a little bit of garbage on it, so I'm going to snip that. We're going to use that one fiber. I'm going to tie that fiber right in by the tail. So it's going to go right in by the tail, and I'll wrap forward just to get rid of the rest of it. Up to here, take that fiber, I'm going to wrap it forward. And the nice thing about these one little turkey quill like this is it'll give it's hard to wrap, a lot of times you lose it because it's small, but it'll give this part of the fly a really nice ribbing look. And it looks very natural, it looks very similar to what a natural would look like. And it's kind of a pain to use because it's small, easy to break, easy to let go of. So you'll notice I use my left hand fingers to hold it in place every time I get a wrap, because that way if I lose it, I'm not starting all over, which happens sometimes anyway. Looks like we might get her though. Okay, so we got it wrapped all the way up to the front. That looks pretty nice. Sometimes your fly, I prefer for it to have a little smaller size back here and then get larger as I get forward. And it looks like this fly did not do that as well. But that's all right. We can accommodate for that. So, all right, we're gonna, from here, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie in some more pheasant tail fibers. Probably use about the same amount, 5 or 6. And try to get them all the same length. Some of these are not the same length, so I'm just going to try to pull some of the fibers. There we go. They're all pretty close. That looks pretty good. I'm going to tie that. You don't want them too long. We're going to use these to fold over the top of the fly, and then they'll also serve as the what would be the legs of a little Baetis nymph. So okay, we've got that tied in. Now my next step is I'm going to put in a little bit of dubbing, a little bit of olive dubbing. We're going to put in dubbing up here where the thread is exposed still, and tie my dubbing on, put my dubbing on the thread, and again you can lick your fingers to get that dubbing nice and tight on the thread. You're going to want to use quite a bit, enough to where when you put it on the hook it's going to build up a little bit and give a nice different size profile to the front of the fly versus the ribs that we just tied in with the dyed turkey quill. So gotta be careful here. My thread, my dubbing is so long that my bobbin is about to hit the camera there, so I'm trying to adjust by moving my finger up there. There we go. It's starting to look pretty good. Okay, now we've got a little bit larger front here, and we're going to take those pheasant tail fibers, we're going to pull them right over the top. Come on, there's one short one in there. Pull them right over the top, and I'm going to tie them off, just like that. Okay, a couple of wraps up front, not a lot, because otherwise I need to tip my hook back a little bit. I don't want to make too many wraps, because if I get too many wraps up there, it gets a little bulky. So now I'm going to try to split those fibers half and half, about 3 on the left, 3 on the right. Once I'm able to get them split, I'm going to try to hold them with my left hand like that and use my thread to tie them down so that they're now facing backwards. There we go. Looks pretty good. Facing down a little bit more. There. Now I'm going to whip finish that fly and do a little cleanup on it. Nice thing about these little flies like this, you can clean them up and fix them up pretty easily. Okay, snip my thread, and let's see here. There we go. There it is. There is the little light olive Baetis. Really an excellent fly at the right time of year.